Hey everybody, welcome to my Suburban Oasis. So today I'm going to be taking you around the house to show you a tour of my house plants. I'm super excited about this because one of the things that I like to do when it's cold outside is come in and tend to them, do some propagation, and even change around the styling a little bit. As you'll see when I go through the house, there's lots of different ways that I like to use them, but you'll see a bit of a theme where I like to use plants near lights and mirrors. Also utilizing similar types of pots to plant them in. So I hope you get a little bit of inspiration from this video and get some new ideas about things that you could do around your house. Thanks for joining me today. Let's get started. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start in this area of the house. This is in our living room, and on top of this lovely bookcase we have this gorgeous sun mirror, and along with that we have lots of different plants that take both low and medium light, and that's something that I found to be a really good success factor for growing lots of plants indoor in my house, because we live in a northern climate and there's not a lot of light in the winter time, and we also don't have windows in every single room. So over here we have a Sansevieria. This is a Xylenica, and it's a fairly common one, but it's a wonderful vertical accent piece. And it also is very good in low light. Then next to that we have a beautiful Philodendron Brazil, and this brings a pop of color, and I have it near, again, a light and a mirror. And that light, it's so nice to have near your plants in the wintertime, because as it gets dark here really early, sometimes 4:30 in the afternoon, you just pop those lights on and provide a little bit of additional lighting from the incandescent bulbs. They're not grow lights or anything like that, but that just helps them to continue to receive light and keep them growing. So here we have a Dracaena. I'm not sure exactly what this one is called in terms of the name, the specific cultivar, but I really love the green and white on it and just the way it twists around. And then behind that you'll see that I have a black coral Sansevieria. This black coral Sansevieria also is a low light plant. It tolerates low light. Obviously it can do really well in lighter areas, but this is just a great plant. I've had it for a couple of years and I've moved it around the house, and I really enjoy how it looks against this mirror. And then I have a Hoya over here to the right, next to an old phone that my grandma and grampy had, and they had a telephone collection, and so I thought it'd be fun to put that into my styling. And then I also have this Sansevieria Henna Gold. It's a bird's nest type Sansevieria, and it's really a nice different color. So you'll hear that I say the word Sansevieria a lot. They've been reclassified as Dracaena, but I like to call them Sansevieria still because I like the way that flows off my tongue. And I think they're just a really fun plant because they're so easy to grow and they come in so many different shapes and colors. And this Hoya Princess, this is a Hoya Crimson Princess, and it has really pretty stems. So if you look closely at the stems, you will see that they are a pinkish red as they put out new growth. And it can be a vining plant, which you can put on a pole or that you can let trail down. For this one, I just leveled it up a little bit by adding a small pedestal that I got at a thrift store. So that's really fun to kind of use different textures and different heights of plants in order to create a really nice style in an area. And then I try to hide this printer that I have in the back corner by utilizing this large Dracaena, which is also referred to sometimes as a corn plant because it does look a bit like a big corn stalk. Okay, so I have a north-facing window that's here to my left, and then an east-facing window that is over here, and that provides some decent light, but it's not very bright. And so I have this gorgeous Scindapsus pictus. I'm going to try to go from the other side so you can see it better. Okay, so this is what a Scindapsus pictus looks like, and this is the agrarious version, and it is a trailing plant that is very similar to the pothos, and it can handle low to moderate light, and it's a very pretty trailer. And as the leaves get older, they gain more and more silver on them, and they're just beautiful. Another cute plant to have in your house is this fairy tale castle cactus. That's a hard one to say. Fairy tale castle cactus. And it does, it just looks like a fairy tale castle, doesn't it? Super easy care and gets some light from this northern window and has done really well here. Okay, and in this corner, also under a light and near the windows, is a holiday cactus, and I call this a holiday cactus because I have multiple kinds in here that bloom at different times. This one is the white bloomer that is putting on some buds right now. So that will be blooming really soon. I can't wait to see that. And then there's also one in there that has pink blooms, and they do tend to bloom at different times, so that's really cool. And then I also have this gorgeous fiddle leaf fig right here. And this one has grown quite significantly. I think I may need to repot it soon, but I really love the kind of reed woven basket that it's in here. I wish I could keep it in there for a while longer. I probably will wait maybe until spring to repot it. I was going to repot it sooner, but I don't know, I just really like that basket as a pot. And so, you know, you can see that this is on a textured table, and the pot that's nearby also has a similar texture, so it kind of helps to pull it all together. Also in my living room is this corner, which really doesn't get very much light. It is next to our fireplace, and it gets a little bit of light from our door and from the north-facing window, but it's definitely important to have a low light plant here. And so I have this gorgeous Aglaonema. This one is called Stripes. They all look fairly similar, but they do well. And again, I have a light and I have a mirror here that helps to reflect the light. So the Aglaonemas, there's several different kinds of them. I actually have this one underplanted with some heartleaf philodendron and a cute little owl shaped pot. I have some other really cute plants that are right over here in my kitchen, and these get light from both the north and the south. To the right is a cylindrical sansevieria. They look like really tall, long green sticks. And then inside of this terrarium, sorry for the shadow, there is a heartleaf philodendron. And that looks really pretty inside there. And just a couple of driftwood sticks that kind of go along with the outside terrarium that I found on a beach in Lake Superior. And then here's a fernwood mikado snake plant. You can see it reaching way up. This one's getting taller and taller, but it's a very beautiful, elegant plant. And then a very small sansevieria. This one is called the samurai. How it looks kind of like swords. Okay, this area happens to be one of my favorite areas of houseplants in my home. This is a tea cart that is an antique tea cart that my grandmother gave me. And she also really enjoyed houseplants. She would never let you leave her house without taking a plant, it seemed. And so I am carrying on the tradition, and I think I have a few more plants on it than she did, but they're all so pretty. I enjoy every one of them. So I've just styled this one up by using multiple levels and heights of textures. I have a philodendron Congo Rojo over here, which has a beautiful red backing to it, its leaves, and just really large leaves. I'll show you what that looks like. This one grows slowly, but it also is a vining plant. And the same with the philodendron Birkin, which is nearby. This one became much more popular over the last couple of years, and it's just beautiful with its green and white stripes. And then in front of it, another plant that has some striping on its leaves is this peperomia. And this is one that they often refer to as a beetle plant because it looks a little bit like a beetle's back. I have a Dracaena Janet Craig, which is just a green tree-like plant. And another Philodendron Brazil. I have propagated this several times, and so you'll see a few of these around my house. They're just really easy to grow, quite vigorous growers. They're not overly dramatic or fussy. You can grow them in lots of different kinds of light. And then a very fun plant right here is String of Pearls. You can see it draping over the side here. Isn't that beautiful? And this is a succulent plant, and it does best in high light, so it's right near this south-facing door that we have. It's a sliding glass door. And then another one of my favorite plants is this Hoya carnosa compacta, and it's a very crinkly leaved plant. Some people call it a Hindu rope. This one's my favorite. I have several of these, but this one is just the crinkliest and the darkest green, and so I love it the most. Sorry, I hope you're not offended, Mr. Variegated version, which is right here. So this one you can see its leaves are just edged in white, but it's a much lighter green as well. And then behind it, in this vase planter, we have a Gasteria. Now, lower down in the bottom level, I had a Monstera deliciosa over here, but now I have this Hope Saloon, and she's doing pretty well. She is a little bit picky related to watering, but overall not too bad. She's got a little bit of brown and yellow on her as she's adapting to the winter dryness. I have another little philodendron Birkin here, and then a beautiful cast iron candle in the back, a gorgeous aloe, a Pilea peperomioides, another peperomia, an agave cactus. Isn't that pretty? The blue tones in that cactus. And then back here we have a black aloe, and then we have the Aloe Guido, and these actually will put out flowers. The Aloe Guido flowers for me a couple times a year with a beautiful orange and yellow flower. This is a String of Turtles and a Burro's Tail. So these that are right up near the sliding glass door are ones that really do like high light. So this is my Monstera deliciosa, and this is a beautiful plant that grows really quite large. I got it last year, actually about 1.5 years ago, and it was probably about 6 inches tall when I first got it, and now it's about 3 feet tall by about 3 feet wide. It has these beautiful cut leaves on it, and then I have a pole to help stake it because it is a vining plant. So it should grow really tall. So I've got a very tall stake there for me to tie it to. Should be fun to see how this develops. Eventually it should get some little holes in here as well. All right, let's take a look at another room. Okay, so here we have my spare bedroom, and it also serves as a workspace for me. And as you enter, we have a Dieffenbachia. This is a tropic snow Dieffenbachia. And I also have a large Sansevieria sayuri here. I have a very small one of this, but I just love how this looks. It's got these vertical stripes in it, which makes it very different from some of the other Sansevierias. It's also a very light color compared to many of them, and it's just a very elegant plant, I think. Back in this corner next to the window, I have a propagation stand here, and this is basically just an old spice rack that I got and popped the corks out, and now I filled them with water and have some cuttings of the Philodendron Brazil. I have some leaves from my Monstera adansonii, and I have some of the Scindapsus. So just propagating on, and they look really beautiful, and they've probably been in there for a few months. And that's just kind of a wonderful way to green up the wall when it's in low light and don't have room for planters. This right here is my Bonnie spider plant. It has curly leaves, which I just love. Isn't that cute? This started off as a tiny baby, and now it's just filling up the whole pot. So fun. And I have this cool stained glass window with a hanging propagation bottle that I also added one of my grandma's hanging crystals to. So just a really pretty thing. I got this at a thrift store. There's all sorts of things you can find. I also have a Hoya over here. I think this is a Hoya biloba, but I'm probably saying that wrong. Bilobi. I'm gonna murder it. But it's really cool because it's fuzzy. The leaves are super soft. You can pet them. They are amazing. And it's super easy to grow. Here I have a dwarf ZZ plant. So I will show you, I also have a black one in this room that is a raven, but this is the dwarf one, so the leaves are nice and close together and it stays rather compact. And it's a very slow growing plant. It does really well in low light. You only have to water it like once a month maybe. And so it's really good for small spaces because it's not going to take over like the Monstera deliciosa will. And this is a cordyline plant. It is green. Many that you might see in a plant store sold as annuals may be a deep purple or a bright pink, but this is a Hawaiian tea plant, and again it's in the cordyline family. I think it's just so pretty, very tropical. You don't see it very often, and my neighbor just gave that to me. I love it. And down here I have another Dracaena. This one is called Twister, and it's aptly named because if you look at it from the top, you can see how it really twists around. And I love how it's just that plain green color. It really accentuates more the pattern of the leaves. I have some shelving over here that is next to a beautiful mirror that I have. And these white planty shelves are from IKEA. You see a lot of people using them because they're glass, and so they let the light through from one side to the other. Now this is my black ZZ Raven up here in the white pot. Beautiful. And another Aglaonema and Scindapsus pictus draped over the side here. And then on this shelf you'll see I have a Sansevieria in the back, and this one's called Whitney, and it has some cool patterns on the edges of the leaves. And this is an Enjoy Pothos and a Silver Satin Trubii, which is a new plant, so it's kind of acclimating right now into my home, and the roots weren't very well established. I bought it at Lowe's. It was one of the trending tropicals, and so it really does need to establish some roots. And then here I have a Decursiva, which is a fairly rare plant. You won't see these very often, but isn't it gorgeous? This reminds me of a butterfly or something, and its leaves are so deep green and shiny. Very tropical. I have another small Sansevieria sayuri here, and this is a Dracaena lemon lime. So it's got a little bit more of a bright lime pop to it. And next to that, another Sansevieria. This one is the, oh gosh, what is this one called? It's called Jade Margins. I think it's called Jade Margin. It's a bird's nest Sansevieria because it kind of grows more of a bowl shape than in a vertical way. And then here we have another Dieffenbachia. This one is my favorite one, but I always blank whenever I try to remember what the name is of this plant. But it is a Dieffenbachia, and it does fine in moderate light here. So let's take a look at the second shelf. This one, I have a spider plant on the right, and then I have a golden pothos that I have trailing and beginning to drape over and grow onto my mirror, which will look so cool when it grows over the top of it. And back here I have the Sansevieria starfish. I just love those. This one has created several little pups for me already. And here we have a Cebu blue pothos. Again, a good low light plant, couple of good low light plants. And this is a Hoya pubicalyx splash. You can see it looks like raindrop has splashed on the leaves. Isn't that pretty? That one does prefer moderate light, so it's growing very slowly in the spot I have it. And then on this next shelf, I have another mirror. I'm sure you're sensing a theme here, right? So another mirror with a Scindapsus, and this one is called Silvery Ann. You can see these leaves get much more silver than the regular Scindapsus pictus that I have showed you so far. And then this over here is the white marble pothos and the marble queen pothos, and this one is just like the golden pothos, grows nice and quick, very easy to grow, and just beautiful. Has a lot more white on it. Then over on this table I have a cute lamp, again for that extra light on the plants, and beneath it this is a Sansevieria moonshine. And the reason why it's called that is because the new growth on it is very light colored, and when it first comes in it's very silvery. And you can see it stays a very nice light green, and it also, I feel, is a fairly elegant plant. And then in front of it I have a Philodendron Prince of Orange, which you can see the new growth comes out with some orange and has some tinges on the stems. Another baby spider plant, and an air plant tucked back behind there in this cute little hanging terrarium bauble. And last but not least, I'd like to show you the one and only plant in my bathroom. So I have this pretty sun mirror behind this nice macrame hanger with a neon pothos in it. The neon pothos is very bright, and I just love it. Well, I hope you all have enjoyed the plant tour today, and I will show you around my downstairs plants as well soon. But I think I'm going to do an outdoor video again next, because I have some little twinkle lights that I like to put outside around some trees and kind of get into the holiday spirit. So hopefully you'll join me for that as well. We'll see you next time. Bye!